The spirits that come out of the well, horror stories. Welcome to this program where we will take a journey into the supernatural, into those stories that happen very close to us, despite some people's resistance to believe them. Today we will explore diverse topics that challenge our skepticism and provide us with a perspective that we may be missing, the perspective that we should always leave open the possibility that everything we do not yet understand is possible. So, turn off the lights and let yourself be carried away. You are now listening to Tales of the Night. Hello Uriel and hello community. I have been following this channel since its first episode, but it was only recently that I joined the group and became more involved in the community. I don't think it was a coincidence. What happened at my parents' house just before I moved out made me feel the need to share what had been happening to us. Ever since we moved into the house with the well in San Luis Potosi, the capital city, on Cuauhtemoc Street, we have experienced strange occurrences. Those who are from here surely know or have heard that the tunnels connecting the churches run along that avenue, which is one of the oldest streets. My parents' house is no exception, as it has a functioning water well. It had never run out of water until a few months ago when the drought began in the state. When you approach that well, you feel a chilling sensation, a shiver that we used to attribute to its depth when we were children. However, ever since we started hearing noises and voices speaking to us, we stopped thinking about that. One quiet day, after having lunch and watching television, I was playing with my brother. At that time, we were 14 and 11 years old, respectively. We heard voices of people talking coming from the patio where the well is located. We didn't pay much attention, thinking that our mom had visitors. But then we heard a low voice calling us, saying, "Children, come." So, we went down to the patio. However, there was absolutely no one there. We shouted to our mom, asking what was going on, but there was no response. We decided to continue playing and go back upstairs. But just as we reached the middle of the stairs, we heard the front door open. It was our mom returning from the store with tortillas for lunch. My brother looked at me in horror and asked, "Did you also hear them talking to us?" I could only respond with a yes, but I told him that maybe it had been our neighbor. I didn't want to scare him and ruin our afternoon of playing. At that moment, we didn't know it, but it would be the first of many incidents that would happen there. Among all these incidents, the one that marked my fear of approaching that cursed well was the one that happened on March 7, 2016, the day before my birthday. I was home alone as my parents and siblings had gone out of state for a sports competition. As a teenager, it was the perfect weekend. I would have the house to myself to enjoy and test out my new television. I was in the kitchen preparing my meal when I heard that damn voice again, saying, "Child, come." But this time, I heard it right next to my ear. I was sure that there was no one there at that moment, so I tried my best to simply not hear it. I know it may not make sense, but that's what I did. I didn't listen to it. But then, I heard it again a few minutes later, but this time it was further away. Fear started to spread throughout my body, but I ignored it. Little did I know that it would be the beginning of the most terrifying weekend of my life. I finished eating, and as I climbed the stairs, right in the middle of the living room, I saw a black silhouette with its right arm extended. It was motionless and remained there until I turned completely and it disappeared, but not before I heard it once again saying, "Child, come out." I ran to my room as fast as I could, trying to calm myself down and downplay the situation, trying to believe that it had just been my imagination. For a few hours, everything remained calm. I took a nap, but I couldn't get that voice out of my mind. What woke me up from my nap was the breeze from the rain. I realized that I was still in the hallway, and I knew that the nightmare was not over. It was 2 in the morning, and feeling more at ease after having rested a bit, I gathered my courage and ran through the hallway to reach the patio. But just as I arrived, I froze in shock. There was the woman I had seen next to the well, with her arm extended, pointing at it, and a smile that could be seen in the darkness. I could see her lips moving, but I couldn't hear anything, as if she wanted me to come closer. I didn't want to, but it was as if I had no control over my body. I took a few steps and reached a pillar that supported the roof. I don't know how I managed to stop myself, but I did. Then I heard that demonic voice again, saying, "Come down with me." In my mind, I prayed, and somehow I managed to run back to my room and lock myself in. I felt that only a few seconds had passed, but when I looked at my watch, 40 minutes had gone by, during which I couldn't remember anything. I felt like I was outside of my body, just watching. When I finally came to my senses, I looked at my watch and realized that it was time to go down. I went down as if nothing had happened. There were no signs that anyone had been there. I took my keys and my things, but before leaving, I noticed that the protection on that cursed well no longer had the lock that my dad always told us not to remove to prevent accidents. I don't know who removed it, whether it was me during those moments when I didn't know what was happening, or if it was that woman, that voice. Now, let's continue with a story that we just found on X's Twitter. It seemed very impactful, so we quickly asked for permission to share it here. It is from a very popular account, the Champion of Humility, which usually talks about positive things, but they shared this story some time ago. It happened back in 2014, when he was in the military in Chilapa. In the description, we will leave the authors of this and the other stories we will share tonight. Here it goes. I used to work in Sakimilco, and last year I moved to Milpalta for work. It was a great opportunity, so I didn't hesitate to move, even though I only had a week to do so. I rented a small apartment in the town of San Juan de Penac, the least populated one. The apartment was built on a plot of land that used to be a Naples plantation. The owner told me that there were Dundas sprites in the area, but that's a story for another time. The building consisted of 4 apartments, and we shared the patio for parking cars and hanging clothes. It was located on a steep slope. I used to come home from work and do my chores, sometimes leaving the clothes hanging all night to dry, and in the mornings, before going to work, I would collect them. What happened to me occurred one morning when I was going to collect my clothes. That day, I wouldn't return to the apartment until late in the evening, so I didn't care if they were dry or not. I decided to go out at 4:30 in the morning, which was my usual waking time. I remember turning on the light that illuminated the door of my apartment and going out to the patio with a basket to collect my clothes. I started touching the clothes to see which ones had dried and which ones hadn't, so I could separate them. That's when I realized that I was being watched. I was paralyzed because I was usually the first one to wake up among my neighbors, and everything was silent. I turned towards the gate, and there she was, a woman, or at least what I thought was a woman, standing in the left corner of the gate, outside, staring at me. I don't know how she got there because that street, being a steep slope, always made a lot of noise when someone walked on it. So, if she had walked there, she must have been waiting for a while. I thought I had a few seconds before she reached me, so I looked at the small door of the gate, which was always open. If that thing wanted to come in, it was completely possible. I thought I had enough time to run back to my apartment and try to keep myself safe. But when I looked back at her, she started smiling at me. I think she understood perfectly well what I was planning to do, how scared I was, how I wanted to protect myself. It was as if she was floating, gliding towards the door without making any noise, and she stopped for a moment at the small door, as if waiting to see my reaction. I couldn't run or do anything I had planned. When I saw her, I was frozen. Her smile grew wider, almost covering her entire face, and then she continued floating up the street. As soon as she disappeared from my sight, I dropped the basket of clothes and ran back to my apartment. Since then, I didn't dare to go out without sunlight or arrive after dark. If I had to arrive late, I always made sure to have someone with me. Luckily, this year I was able to move to another apartment closer to the city center. However, Milpalta is still a land of Nagualas and witches. I believe that what I encountered that morning was one of them, but I would like to know if anyone from the area who listens to these stories knows what it was that I encountered that early morning, the one that smiled at me until I was almost scared to death. Continuing with the theme of supernatural encounters, we now delve into a chilling tale of a haunted forest in a remote village. The village, located deep within the mountains, has long been rumored to be haunted by the spirits of those who met a tragic end in the forest. The locals believe that these spirits emerge from the depths of the woods during the full moon, causing mischief and terrorizing anyone who dares to venture inside. Stories have circulated about lost hikers encountering ethereal figures, disembodied voices whispering in the wind, and inexplicable phenomena that defy logical explanation. The villagers warn outsiders to never enter the forest after sunset, as the spirits grow restless and their presence becomes more pronounced. Whether these tales are products of vivid imagination or true encounters with the otherworldly, the haunted forest continues to be a subject of both fear and fascination for locals and visitors alike. In the remote village, there is an ancient legend passed down through generations about a group of explorers who dared to venture into the haunted forest under the light of the full moon. These adventurers were determined to unravel the mysteries that shrouded the forest, even though they had heard the chilling tales of the spirits that dwelled within. Armed with their courage and a sense of curiosity, they embarked on their journey, unaware of the horrors that awaited them. As they delved deeper into the forest, the air grew heavy with an ominous presence. They could sense that they were being watched, their every step monitored by unseen eyes. Whispering voices echoed through the trees, their words incomprehensible but filled with a malevolent energy that sent shivers down their spines. Suddenly, the full moon emerged from behind the clouds, casting an eerie glow over the forest. It was at this moment that the spirits of the forest revealed themselves. Ethereal figures materialized from the mist, their translucent forms swaying gently in the moonlight. The explorers stood frozen in fear as the spirits approached them, their faces etched with sadness and longing. The leader of the group, a seasoned adventurer, mustered his courage and stepped forward. Addressing the spirits with utmost respect, he offered them words of peace and understanding. He pleaded with them to share their stories, to let him and his companions learn from their tragic past. At first, the spirits hesitated, their gazes filled with suspicion. But as the leader continued to speak, his sincerity and genuine curiosity touched their ethereal hearts. Slowly, they began to reveal their stories of love, loss, and betrayal, tales that had been trapped within the forest for centuries. The explorers listened intently, captivated by the haunting narratives. They understood that these spirits were not simply vengeful entities, but remnants of a tumultuous past longing for solace and closure. With each story shared, the bonds between the living and the spirits grew stronger, bridging the gap between two realms. At the end of their encounter, the explorers bid farewell to the spirits, promising to carry their stories back to the village. They vowed to honor their memory and ensure that their tales would never be forgotten. As they left the haunted forest, a sense of peace settled within their souls, knowing that they had brought light to the darkness and comfort to the tormented spirits. In another part of the world, there exists a haunted mansion known as the House of Shadows. It is said to be cursed by the spirits of the former residents who met tragic ends within its walls. The stories surrounding this eerie place range from mysterious disappearances to paranormal activities that send shivers down the spines of even the bravest souls. Legend has it that the House of Shadows was once a grand mansion, owned by a wealthy family. However, tragedy struck when a fire broke out, claiming the lives of all who resided there. Since that fateful day, the spirits of the deceased have lingered, unable to find peace. Visitors who dare to enter the mansion speak of strange occurrences, such as flickering lights, disembodied footsteps, and whispers in the corridors. Some even claim to have seen apparitions moving through the rooms, their faces filled with sorrow and longing. One particularly chilling tale involves a young couple who decided to spend a night in the haunted mansion. Despite the warnings from the local villagers, they were determined to uncover the truth behind the legends. As night fell and darkness enveloped the house, they began to experience a series of unexplained events. Footsteps echoed through the hallways, drawing closer with each passing moment. The couple could hear hushed voices, as if a conversation was taking place in another room. Terrified, they huddled together, seeking solace in each other's presence. Suddenly, a cold breeze swept through the room, extinguishing the candles they had lit for comfort. Panic washed over them as they found themselves enveloped in complete darkness. The presence of the spirits was palpable, their energy filling the air with an oppressive weight. But just when they thought they couldn't bear it any longer, a soft glow emanated from a corner of the room. The spirits appeared before them, their ethereal forms radiating a gentle warmth. To their surprise, the couple realized that these spirits were not malevolent, but rather trapped souls yearning for release. The spirits beckoned the couple to listen to their stories, to hear the tales of their lives and the tragedies that befell them. As the couple listened, they could feel the weight of the spirits' pain and sorrow. It was a cathartic experience, as if by sharing their stories, the spirits found a semblance of peace. When the dawn broke, the couple bid farewell to the spirits, promising to honor their memory and share their stories with the world. As they left the House of Shadows, they carried with them a newfound appreciation for the power of storytelling and the importance of remembering those who came before us. In the years that followed, the couple dedicated themselves to researching the history of the haunted mansion and the lives of its former residents. Through their efforts, they were able to uncover forgotten details and shed light on the tragic events that had unfolded within those walls. Continuing with the theme of supernatural encounters, let's explore the origins of the haunted forest in the remote village. According to local legends, the forest was once a sacred place, revered by the indigenous people who lived in the area centuries ago. It was believed to be the dwelling place of benevolent spirits, guardians of the land. However, as time passed and the village evolved, the forest became neglected and forgotten. Over the years, the spirits grew resentful of the villagers' disregard for their sacred space. Their anger and frustration manifested in paranormal activities, aiming to remind the villagers of the forest's significance. The spirits hoped that by creating fear and unease, the villagers would be compelled to rediscover the forest's spiritual importance and show proper respect. As the haunting tales spread among the villagers, a select few individuals emerged as spirit protectors. These individuals possessed a unique connection to the spirits and were entrusted with the task of appeasing them. They would perform rituals and offerings to honor their presence, bridging the gap between the physical and spiritual realms. The spirit protectors would also serve as guides for curious outsiders who wished to explore the haunted forest. With their deep knowledge of the spirit's history and traditions, they would ensure that visitors approached the forest with reverence and respect, minimizing any negative encounters. Through the efforts of these spirit protectors and the increased awareness among the villagers, a sense of harmony was gradually restored between the living and the spirits. The forest once again became a sacred space, cherished by both the indigenous people and the newer generations. Today, the haunted forest stands as a testament to the power of maintaining a connection with the spiritual world. It serves as a reminder that our actions can have a profound impact on the supernatural forces that coexist with us. By embracing the spirits and their stories, we can forge a deeper understanding of our own existence and the mysteries that lie beyond our comprehension. As we conclude this exploration of supernatural encounters, let us reflect on the importance of acknowledging and respecting the unknown. Whether it be the mysterious spirits that emerge from a well, the ethereal figures in a haunted forest, or the restless souls in a cursed mansion, these encounters remind us that there is more to the world than what meets the eye. In the face of the supernatural, skepticism may waver, and our understanding may falter. But it is in these moments of uncertainty that we must embrace the possibility of something greater. Only by remaining open-minded and receptive can we truly appreciate the wonder and complexity of the world around us. Continuing our exploration of supernatural encounters, let's delve into the origin of the spirits that come out of the well in San Luis Potosi. Legend has it that centuries ago, a tragic event occurred near the well that forever changed its spiritual energy. It is said that a young couple, deeply in love, met their untimely end in a devastating accident at the well's entrance. Their souls became trapped, forever bound to the well, unable to find peace. Over the years, the spirits of the young couple developed a deep longing for human connection, resulting in their haunting of those who approached the well. The chilling sensations and eerie voices experienced by residents were the spirits' attempts to communicate their sorrow and seek solace. As the well became known for its supernatural occurrences, the local community developed a complex relationship with the spirits. Some feared their presence, believing them to be vengeful entities seeking retribution. Others, however, recognized the tragic nature of their existence and sought ways to honor their memory and offer them compassion. In an effort to understand the spirits and provide them with respite, a group of historians and paranormal researchers conducted extensive investigations. They discovered that the spirits were most active during the drought when the well's water supply diminished. This led them to believe that the spirits' unrest was tied to their connection to water and their yearning for a sense of completion. In an attempt to appease the spirits, the community organized rituals and ceremonies, offering prayers and offerings to honor the young couple's memory. These acts of reverence aimed to bring peace to the trapped souls and restore harmony between the physical and spiritual realms. As time went on, the well and its spirits became an integral part of the local folklore. The stories of their encounters were passed down through generations, serving as cautionary tales and reminders of the importance of respect for the supernatural. Today, visitors to San Luis Potosi are drawn to the well, not only to witness its haunting beauty, but also to pay homage to the spirits that reside within. It has become a place of pilgrimage for those seeking a deeper understanding of the mysteries of life and the power of human connection. The villagers of San Luis Potosi, determined to establish a stronger bond with the spirits that haunted the well, decided to hold an annual festival dedicated to honoring the trapped souls. This festival, known as the Night of Remembrance, takes place on the anniversary of the young couple's tragic demise. The entire community comes together to create an atmosphere of reverence and respect. During the Night of Remembrance, the streets are adorned with colorful decorations, and traditional music fills the air. The villagers dress in white, symbolizing purity and unity, as they participate in a solemn procession towards the well. Along the way, they carry candles and offer flowers as a sign of their devotion. At the well, a ceremonial altar is erected, adorned with photographs and mementos of the young couple. Villagers take turns sharing stories about the spirits, recounting their encounters and expressing their gratitude for the lessons learned from these supernatural experiences. The power of storytelling is celebrated, as it allows the spirits to continue to have a presence in the community's collective memory. The Night of Remembrance concludes with a heartfelt prayer, led by the village elder, in which the community expresses their deepest wishes for the spirits' peace and liberation. They pray for the spirits to find solace and for their own hearts to remain open to the mysteries of the supernatural. Through the annual Night of Remembrance, the villagers of San Luis Potosi continue to foster a sense of connection with the spirits that come out of the well. In conclusion, the supernatural encounters described in the text highlight the importance of acknowledging and respecting the unknown. From the spirits that come out of the well in San Luis Potosi to the haunted forest and cursed mansion, these stories remind us that there is more to the world than what meets the eye. By remaining open-minded and receptive, we can appreciate the wonder and complexity of the supernatural. Through rituals, ceremonies, and storytelling, communities can forge a deeper connection with these spirits, offering them compassion and honoring their memory. The Night of Remembrance in San Luis Potosi exemplifies the power of human connection and the role of storytelling in keeping the spirit's presence alive.